Hello everybody, welcome to Glass Half Dead, the #1 channel on YouTube in the world ever, in the universe in fact. Don't Google that, I checked, that's true. Today I want to talk about new editions of games, why they're good, and maybe actually make a point. But I don't know, I don't want to, you decide if I actually make a point here or not. So obviously we've just had the new edition of Kill Team release. I am almost exclusively a Kill Team channel, but I do talk about other games sometimes. And that's my frustration. I think that the new edition of Kill Team is actually, really good. There are some issues, there are some balance issues, we've got to talk about elites, we've got to talk about Inquisition, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about, right? But in general, it's a good update, the game is solid, I think it's very good what they've done. In 6 months' time, once they've balance patched the game into usability and actual fair play and balance. Cool. And I don't even hold that against them, that's fine. It's okay that these things occur. However, it is launched in the same quarter, the same 3 months as Age of Sigmar 4, Necromunda Hive Secundus, Halo Flashpoint, Warhammer Underworlds, Corvus Belli's Warcrow, Corvus Belli's Infinity N5, the new edition, and from Steamforged Games, their Warmachine, their first introductory 2-player starter set to their game. So these are 7 new entryways into a game that have all released in the same 3-month period, and I'm just like, I want to talk about all of these things. And if any of these had come out 6 months to 9 months ago, I would have been all over them. You would have looked at my channel and said, damn, maybe Andy's not even a Kill Team channel anymore. Because in fact, that's what I did. I got bored of Kill Team towards the last year of the edition of Kill Team, right? And I talked about other things because that's where my interest lay. Now, I'm all in on Kill Team. This is really fun. I think the new edition is really good. But I still am a gamer with a capital G, but also a capital W for Wargamer, right? And I want to talk about more stuff. I don't want to just talk about Kill Team. But everything has landed in the same 3-month period as when I'm actually excited about Kill Team again. And it's like, dude, what? Now, the thing that actually made me think about this is actually Warhammer Underworlds. So a game that, if you pay attention to what people, existing players of it, are saying online, they are sad. They're not happy. They are buying stocks in ropes that can be used as nooses right as we speak, okay? They are not a happy bunch of campers. And I thought, that's really interesting because to me, an outsider's perspective, nobody fucking plays the game, right? I'm sure some people do, but not really. And they definitely don't play it in the way that it was, the majority don't seem to play it in the way that it was originally envisaged and intended by Games Workshop. So for me, again, an outsider, a tourist, if you will, if you want to use that vernacular, looking into Underworlds, all I can see is a new edition is good. So I want to talk about very briefly what a new edition means to me and presumably to other people, and when it's good and when it's bad. So, all of these games I've just mentioned are doing new editions or they're just a new game. New editions are generally really good, except when they're not. The beauty of releasing a new edition for your game, even when, if you're doing GW style, it's only minor tweaks and updates, for example, the new Infinity N5, it's basically the same game. It's still a complex game. They have actively said they don't want to dumb the game down, but they are deliberately bringing a few model WYSIWYG rules in line, and they've tweaked a few things. Much like Kill Team, they've tweaked a few things that has kind of added together to radically change the game, although the core is still the same. Age of Sigmar 4, they tweaked a few things, they streamlined a bunch of stuff, they cleaned up their rules, but it's still basically the same game. If you could play 3rd edition, you could play 4th edition. With Kill Team, if you could play 2021, you can play 2024. With Infinity, if you could play N4, you can play N5. And likewise with Underworlds, if you could play the 1st edition, I guess it is, you will be able to still play the 2nd edition, whatever this new iteration is. It's still going to be the same game at its core, just with some tweaks around it, as we'd expect. It's not the absolute massacre and disaster that is Kill Team 2018 to Kill Team 2021. Rip my homies. I'm still genuinely sad about that, yes. So, right, what does the new edition do? It gets, much like it is doing for me right now with Infinity, N5, and Warhammer Underworlds, it gets new eyes on the game. Thinking, as I say, about Underworlds, I don't think it has many players. I'm sure it has a few, right? It has some, but like, I genuinely don't see it being played much. And I'm seeing a new edition coming, and a new edition is potential, and potential is exciting. It's a time where I did exactly the same with Age of Sigmar. When Age of Sigmar dropped, I bought like 4 spearheads because I was just excited about the potential. The potential of being at the ground level, being in a position where nobody knows anything, even though in reality they do know something, right? If you have played the previous edition, you're going to know a hell of a lot more than somebody getting in for the first time. But hypothetically, the game isn't solved, the meta isn't, you know, completely stale and stagnant. Anyone can get in. That's very exciting. And it's because of that potential and the fact that everybody sees that potential in a new edition that new editions exist at all, frankly. Yes, there's a reason to redo editions. I think that the redo of Kill Team makes a lot of sense because the 2021 was its first iteration. I think that now 24 is the refinement of the system and is probably Kill Team's end goal. Again, lots of balance changes needed, but as its core gameplay, hypothetically, in theory, now this is what Kill Team is supposed to be because they've tested it for 3 years and given us this. Whereas before, it was just kind of thrown together as a concept and nobody stopped them and it was like, yeah, here's a whole new edition, or here's a whole new system. Let's just throw it at the wall, see what sticks. Now we've played it. This is what it was supposed to be, is kind of how I view it, right? And so there's this beautiful potential for a new edition being not only new to everybody, but also new to yourself and something that can be anything. For example, Age of Sigmar 4, I bought loads of stuff and I bought it because it could have been the new thing that I can autistically delve into and love and think about nothing else. That's a really exciting idea to me. It turned out not to be, but that's fine. That's, you know, no shade on it. That's just reality, and reality never lives up to potential, as we all know, of course. But I'm always more than happy enough to get wound up in my potential ideas of things, knowing full well that I will not achieve that potential. I will hit the reality wall and then move on. But I'm fine with the hype train. That's totally fine in my life, not a problem. And so if you are someone like me that enjoys seeing this potential on the horizon, and your main game you're currently a bit down on, a little bit bored with, much as I was in the past with Kill Team and a year ago, and you get new games coming out, those new games, they're gonna sell, buddy. That's good stuff, because people are a bit down on it, because they've, you know, come to the reality of the situation, and they're looking for something else that has the potential. And that's when they go ahead and release all of these games that I'm so interested in their potential before reality strikes, just as Kill Team hits. And so I can't even go and play with them. And I'm like, that's really annoying. Like, genuinely, I just bought from Wayland Games, which I have an affiliate link with, by the way, the Ariadna like Code 1 collection. It's like £200, and I just impulse bought it because I'm insane, as usual, thinking, oh yeah, I'll use that in N5, and I'll get Operation Sandtrap, and buy the everything that I can buy, I will buy for Infinity N5, right? But I know that when it comes out, you know what's going to happen? Because I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. I don't want to paint metal models, so I won't. So then I have unpainted models and they look terrible because they're not painted, to clarify. The models themselves look good, right? Nobody's really going to want to play it with me, so I will have no opponents. So bad looking models, no opponents, and done. I'm never going to play the game, okay? And then also, because I don't play the game enough, oh, well actually the rules are quite complex. It's the kind of system where you have to play it a certain number of times to actually kind of figure things out. And I will only have read through the rules myself, watched a few house plays, and then kind of be like, I kind of get it, and then when it comes to me attempting to Sadhammer solo play myself so that I can actually get a game in, because ultimately I'm a capital G gamer and I want to play the games, I'm going to not know what I'm doing and have a bad experience because I don't know the rules, because I'm not playing against anybody else, and then say, oh yeah, what was the point of this? And just put everything in storage and never touch it again. The same is going to happen for Warhammer Underworlds. I'm currently actually really excited about it. There's a lot about Underworlds that I'm really excited for. The travelability of it. I like that it's smaller, I like that each game is faster. I like the idea that I could go to a board game cafe with it instead of a war game dungeon with it, right? A cauldron of bubbling war gamers isn't always my preferred venue. Sometimes I'd like some happy-go-lucky board gamers, you know? And Underworlds would allow me to join in with that social crowd. Big fan, love it. Nobody fucking plays the game. Nobody plays the game, so that's not actually going to happen. And in reality, there's so much baggage attached to the existing kind of brand of Underworlds that nobody's going to get into it now. However, that could begin to change with the new edition, and that's only going to begin to change because of the new edition. But it's not going to change immediately because of the new edition. So it's something to look at again in a year, 2 years' time, kind of once the scene naturally grows itself, if what they've done, the potential of the change, is actually good and is going to grow the game. But of course, right now it's just potential, and I don't know. And let me tell you this, in a year and a half time, when Warhammer 40k 11th edition releases, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say I'm really excited for Warhammer 11th edition because there's potential. Because there's the potential that they go to alternating activations, that they finally change the decades-old shit game system that they have and make it, at the very least, alternating phase activations, and maybe they actually get their shit together and understand that if you're going to make that interesting, you also need to add in an initiative system to make movement actually interesting instead of Sorry. I will be excited for the potential of 40k 11th edition is all I'm saying. Right, moving on. But back to my primary point, all of these systems that I would love to talk about on this channel and cover fully, because they have that potential of a new game that I can ride the enjoyment and hype in my life for like a month each per system, have all dropped in the same 3-month period, where Kill Team has dropped. And unfortunately for them, Kill Team kind of blows them all out of the water because it's based in the 40k IP, so it naturally has a huge following based purely on that. It's a really solid rules system. I think they've done a great job with it, just to clarify, in case you're unaware, I think it's a good game. And a bunch of other stuff that I can't be bothered to go into because it's not the point of this video, right? Genuinely, the only reason I'm not a full-time kill teamer is because there's no list building. Like, quite genuinely, if Kill Team had list building in a similar vein to how Warcrow has it, or old Kill Team 2018, it will probably be the only game I play. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid statement to make. You know, it's not perfect in every possible way, even ignoring that, but like, it's close enough. There you go. So, cool, well, there you go. I didn't make a point here. I think we can all agree on that. Do go and check out all of those game systems I just mentioned. And if instead of me kind of enticing you to go and play other games, and instead I somehow won you over to playing Kill Team, keep in mind I do have a how to play over on Tactical Skew. It's a 2-parter. It's easily the best one out there on YouTube, so go check that out. And you might be wondering, and I've left it till the end, why do I have all of this set up? It's because I was filming a solo game to put on Tactical Skew, and so obviously I needed all of this big, like, blocky 40k style terrain to kind of give it a bit of atmosphere. Cool. Anyway, well, thanks for listening. Hey, I hope that all the games I mentioned here take off. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my little lineup of various models I have, but they won't because it's not 40k. So I'll see you in Kill Team.